Hello everyone. How's it going? My name is Sinead Rafferty. I am an alignment coach for HSPs and Empaths. So I'm all about alignment, aligning with your true path in life, and making the impact that you want to make in your career, in your business. Today I am talking about the 5 common HSP blocks that I see a lot with my clients and with other HSPs that I've worked with over the years. So let's get started. Do any of these sound familiar? I hear these types of phrases all the time with the people that I work with. And I run a program called the HSP Purpose Pathway, where I guide people along that journey of alignment so that they can really lean into their purpose and the impact they want to make and their true path in life. So here's the first one. I feel a constant push-pull messing with my energies. It's like a tug of war in my mind between how I'm supposed to approach my work or my business and my intuition, my heart and soul nudging me in a different direction. So oftentimes we can feel pulled, or that push-pull sensation in our energies, because we have 2 narratives going on in our minds, and we can get very caught up in what we should be doing. And a lot of that stems from the empathy that we're so very good at. The next one is my incessant overthinking leads me to procrastinate. So then I'm hard on myself, and then imposter syndrome sets in. So then I wait another while to make a change. So this is kind of a pattern you can get into. It's very cyclical, where we become exhausted with the overthinking, so much so that we just do nothing. But overthinking is extremely normal for a HSP, a highly sensitive person, or for an empath. It's as normal to us as breathing. But bringing our awareness to it and allowing it to serve us rather than to drag us down energetically is the key. The next one there is I crave flow and clarity and focus and progress in relation to the full expression of who I really am. But it's so difficult to keep my energies in flow. So we have those kind of bursts of energy and dips of energy, which can be very exhausting. And that's very normal for a HSP when you don't know how to manage your energies, which is a key part of bringing you into alignment. So the next one, why do I get so overwhelmed? Why can't I just handle it all? I wish I could set healthy boundaries and just say no. So it's very difficult for highly sensitive people who don't have that awareness of how they function to set clear boundaries and to stick to them, because we put our own needs at the bottom of the priority list. And it's just something that we may have been doing since childhood, again, because we can sense what other people need and want around us, and we put ourselves last. But what happens is that's what leads us to bouts of anxiety and bouts of exhaustion and even to burnout, because we haven't actually allowed any space in our lives for our own needs. I'm so afraid of getting it wrong or being misunderstood. That's a real fear for a lot of HSPs. And it's fair enough, because we are misunderstood in lots of ways, and we can be misunderstood even in our own experience with our own loved ones, our own family, even ourselves. We don't quite understand what's going on for ourselves. So that's what I'm all about in terms of enlightening HSPs out there to embrace their trait. It's just a trait. It's just part of who you are. It's not the full identity of who you are. It's part of who you are, and you can leverage it. You can make it a strength. Why can't I trust myself and my judgment more? So that's another one that again, our empathy is out there. We kind of have the feelers out, and it's everyone else's opinion and everyone else's kind of take on things that we can often allow to dictate our decisions. So I'm going to fire through the 5 blocks. So that's kind of what I hear all the time. Which one can you relate to? And see which of these blocks maybe you need to address right now. So block number 1 is no boundaries, as I mentioned. So we're saying yes to everyone. We have no self-protection in place. We're trying to mold ourselves to the needs of others, and we're not prioritizing our own dreams. So you can see that I have the block listed on the left underneath what I call the determined visionary, which is the people that I work with, purpose-driven people who have such great intention and such great vision for the future. To become that empowered trailblazer, I have devised what I call the HSP alignment code. There's another video on this, on the HSP alignment code, that I will link below. So it's the antidote really to all of these blocks, to these 5 common blocks. So how are you on boundaries? Be honest with yourself. How are you doing on boundaries? Block number 2 is energy management, an absolute key. So this is when we neglect, if we neglect rather, our energy management, it will come back to bite us. Okay? If we leave it as an afterthought, then we're leaving ourselves in a place of resistance all the time, which is absolutely exhausting. So then we lack flow, we feel drained, we can often feel confused and overwhelmed. And if we don't have that self-care in place, our creativity really takes a hit. And that's hard for us to swallow because creativity is such an important part of that purpose-driven aspect of yourself. You know what I mean? So your creativity can kind of wane a little when you're not giving yourself that energy management and that boost that you need. And then self-sabotage can set in. And self-sabotage is basically when we're in that confused place and we're living our lives from a place of should, right? I should do this, I should do that, instead of what I truly need and want and feel and know for myself. And then it can become a habit because to step out of the familiar can be quite fearful. Block number 3 is misaligned identity. So this is all about knowing yourself and knowing the HSP side of yourself, knowing that your high sensitivity is a gift. It's a beautiful thing. So our identity can get caught up in past experiences because often in childhood we're told we're too sensitive, we're overly emotional, we're overreacting to everything, you know, that kind of thing. So then we bring that through into adulthood. And then we start to think there's something wrong with us or that we're going slightly crazy, but there is nothing wrong with you. You do not have to fix anything and you do not have to overcome this aspect of yourself. You have to align with it. That's the thing. Then if we have that lack of knowledge around our HSP experience, we can be confused. We don't quite know what's going on. And especially if you're an empath experiencing the energies of other people around you and you think that maybe that's what's happening for you. So that can get quite complex there for empaths. Then we have that fear of judgment and being misunderstood that I spoke to already. And then the inner critic becomes very loud. And that's where we need both a healing journey and a growth journey to bring us forward. So our self-concept is caught up in this. It's all about identity, how we define ourselves, and it can get caught up in our empathic abilities, how other people might view us or how other people view the potential that we have or the opportunities that are in front of us. Okay. Block number 4 is hiding our true nature. And it's a natural thing that we do because we're protecting ourselves. And we've done it for years and years and years. And we try to function like everybody else. I can do this, it's fine, I can just be normal, right? But we can't. If you have high sensitivity, then you need to allow for that in your life and honor it and respect it. We cannot function like everybody else, but that's okay because your brain works differently. So then when we hide our light and our wisdom and our talent and our truth, that can become exhausting and then we can lose our voice. So oftentimes I will hear HSPs say to me, I just can't seem to find my voice at the moment. And I believe that's because we are actually turning down the volume on this part of ourselves for so long. And then we become reluctant to recognize the worth that we have if we're in business, for example, and maybe we're not charging correctly and we're caught up in that cycle as well. So it can affect us professionally. And block number 5 is a limited mindset. But mindset, I'm sure, as you know, is the same for everyone. It's about 99% of the picture most of the time. But what happens is we are carrying an old narrative in our minds and we are allowing those limiting beliefs to kind of create the reality around us. And it does happen. It's all energy. It's all frequency. And if you are continuously telling yourself something, that is what you will experience. It does work that way, I promise. Then we have, out of that, misconceptions and assumptions around our business or our career path or a certain industry or around our opportunities. And that's where the overthinking comes in, procrastination and imposter syndrome.